What's up guys, welcome to Royal Visuals. If you're new here, my name's Matt. If you're not, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to talk about the After Effects clip that I had in my Raptor commercial remake where I put Raptor / Snake Eyes into the face of a woman. It's quite a simple and easy thing to do, so I thought I'll take you through it, and it's quite good. You can do any kind of eye to replace. This one has sort of blur on one side of the face, so I'm going to go through how you can match the blur of the focus of the camera with putting the eye in. So with that said, let's jump into After Effects and I'll show you how it's done. Welcome guys to After Effects. So what we're going to do is put some Raptor / Snake Eyes into the eyes of this lady here. So I've loaded the videos up into the composition. So we've got this video and we've also got the Raptor eyes here, as you can see. So what we need to do first is you need to create a mask around the eyes. So you can see these are opening, and what we'll do is as these open they'll reveal the snake eyes rather than the lady's eyes. So we need to make sure they're closed, and you need to get a mask on this layer. So what you need to do is select your masking tool, your pen tool up the top. So select pen tool, and it is better if you can zoom in. Okay, so grab your masking tool, and all you need to do is just select around the eye, roughly where the bottom of the eye would be, and that's good. And just make this as flat as possible. And then join the top. Okay, so what this will do, this will sort of mask that out. So what we need to do is we just need to invert this, and there we go. We'll just pull these a little bit closer together so it's kind of like a closed eye. Right, now we've got that, we need to do a mask path. So if you click on the arrow down and select the stopwatch for it to be the start, and then you need to go for when it opens, like to there, and put another keyframe in. Okay. What we need to do is we need to make fine adjustments with this, so this fits the eye opening. I'll quickly speed run through this, but I'll show you the basics of what we need to do. So what you need to do is, as the eye's opening, is you just need to bring this up. So what we are doing, we're going to mask out the white of the eye, not all the eye, just the. So let's go ahead a couple of frames. Let's go ahead another frame. And you might have to add some frames in. So you do it a couple of frames, and then we'll go back and see where the actual eye is. So let's go another frame. We'll zoom in on here. So these are done. So what you can do is you can do it every other frame. So when it's gone the frame again, what you need to do is lift this up. As we can see, the eye, the white of the eye and the eyeballs behind. So you just need to make sure all this is lined up, and just keep checking where the eye is. Make sure you've got it correctly. So yep, so these need to be moved up. Moved up a lot. I'd say it's all trial and error at this point, and you just need to, when you've got the general shape, you are fine to carry on. So let me just adjust all these to somewhat look like an eyeball of some description. So another way you can check where it is if you go to here and just click invert, you can see where the white of the eye is. So I just need to pull that up there a bit more. So if I click invert, then I can just do this. So what I can do here is get rid of a couple of these, and that's good. That's what we want. Right. So click invert again. Go another 2 frames. The eye's opened up again, so we can do that, and we can move this as and where we need it to go. Another 2 frames. Okay, so you get the picture. So right, so I'm just going to speed run through this to get it all sorted, and then I'll come back in when we are going to put the eye behind and then make the eyes match, sort of, so it looks somewhat realistic. I know snake eyes and a person isn't, but we'll get there. Okay, so invert. Okay, so that's the general idea of what we're getting with this. I won't do it all the way because it takes a while. Okay. So what we got here, we got both the raptor eyes. Put that as normal. And what you need to do is you just need to adjust this so it looks, so it can fit inside the eye. So if you grab that and then shift, hold shift, that should uniform it down so it won't go every which way. So that just makes it, so I'll kind of make it the same shape as the eye of the human, maybe just a bit bigger so you can't see the outs, like these bits. I think that'll be good for now. So we'll drop that underneath the video. As you can see it in the background behind the mask. So if I show you the difference here, go mask, advanced. So that's it. That's sitting behind. So that's the first bit. That's on the eye. And there's a couple of things you need to do with this rather than staying there. So if we go a bit further, you can see it's quite open there. These are quite rough. These, let's just end that there. So we'll bring, so you just bear in mind with it being a bit rough around the edges at the moment. I'm just safe for tutorial purposes. But you can go back in here and you can just make this a lot smoother by adding it in between keyframes. So I did every other, and if you do every one, it'll be smoother between them adjusting. So what we need to add to this now as you need to, you go down to this one here, and you just need to move it, position it to kind of so it looks like the eye, and you just need to remember where the woman's eye was. So I think it was up to the corner. So what we're going to do is we're just going to move that. So she's looking out over the side of her eye, move it up slightly, and we're going to add a couple of effects to this. So what we need to do is you need to go to effects and attach a basic 3D. So if you go to basic, so basic 3D. Okay, so it's on obsolete, so if you go in there and then just bring that over and add it to this, and what this will allow you to do is you can turn it, as you can see here, you can spin it round so you can have it into where you think the eye would be. So I've got this on the swivel at about 3 to 5. So let's put that at 5. So that'll swivel, so the eyes swivel towards the camera, and the tilt. So we've done that. In distance to image, you can offset this. This will make it bigger or smaller. So I said if you want to get rid of the skin around the reptile's eye, then you should bring it in so it looks so the pupil fills a little bit more of the image. So if we have it to about there, and what you have to do is just make a little bit of adjustments in the positioning so it looks like, so it looks correct. But we still need to add a little bit to this. So we need to make this just a tad bit more realistic. So what we'll do is we'll go back into the mask, and then you need to play with the feather so the edges aren't so sharp, and just make sure that feather is correct. As I say, you just have to keep going back so that looks a bit less sharp, and then you've got your expansion, so you can, so it's somewhat like that. So you can just play around, just make sure, say every eye is going to be different, every face, so you just have to, if you want to do this on a different one, I can supply these two images as a, if you want to follow through. So that looks a little bit more like it's inside the eye. What I think we can do is probably rotate this a little bit more inside the image again. So just transform and just rotate it slightly. Bring the position up. And I think we can bring the distance to image up again. Okay, so that looks pretty good in my eyes. No pun intended. Right, so we need to do the same with the other eye. We'll say this is blurred, so this is, we're going to have a little bit of, we're going to have to do a little bit more to this. So what I'll do is I'll quickly do that and then we'll come back. So thank you for waiting. So now I've played around with this eye so it looks a little bit better, and I've masked out this, as I shall show you now. So I've done that eye, and I've also put a mask on this one. So that's all masked out. On here we have two masks, mask 1, mask 2, following the same. So as you can see, this opens up, and as I said, because I've done it every frame, it's a lot smoother with the eye opening up. So when you've done this, if you've got one out of it, this is quite easy if you've got two eyes that are in focus, so I recommend probably going for something like that. If you're out of focus, I'll show you how to do that, no problem. So where are we? So we're on this eye. So what you need to do is you need to go to your effects and you need to add the basic 3D to get it into position how you want, and where, you know, this is a little bit blurry, so the eyeball is a little bit more obscured. You can't really see, but you can make a rough estimate. So you need to do your basic 3D and swivel, so swivel, tilt, and your distance to image again. There's 23, 359 and 18 on there. And you need to add a Gaussian blur. So if you go to your effects and just type in blur, it should be either on your little bar here, which is Gaussian blur, or you can go to effect up on there and go to blur and sharpen and select it from there. So show you how to do that. So blur and sharpen, go down, Gaussian blur. Okay, so let's move on. So Gaussian blur will, as you can see at the moment, it's opening the eye, but it's in focus where the rest of the eye isn't, or the rest of the side of the face isn't, and that looks a little bit weird and it doesn't look right. So what you can do is you add the blurriness, select horizontal and vertical, and repeat edge per pixels I select on, and the effect of that is it blurs the eye out, and try your best to match the out of focus and the blurriness of this side of the face and it'll look better. So if you run that through, you can see that's kind of matched up. Like this one on the side isn't the best, but that kind of matches the blurriness, and I feel that's quite good. So that's basically all you need to do. It's 3 effects and 2 images. What I recommend doing is when you do the mask is putting these to screen, and then that'll blend in with the screen a lot more rather than just sitting normal. So you can do this with any eyes you want. It doesn't have to be reptile eyes, it doesn't have to be a person's face, it can be an animal's face. This is just the example I was using from my most recent video, and that's how that's done. So I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll jump back to the camera. So that was the tutorial on how you can swap eyes within After Effects. I hope you enjoyed it. It's quite a quick and easy thing to do. It's very simple, and matching up the focus with what the camera is simple with that little blur. If you enjoyed this, then please drop a like and a comment letting me know what you think, and please subscribe to the channel if you want to see more tutorials. I do tutorials every Thursday, so make sure you catch them. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when these tutorials are released. So with that said, I'll see you guys next week. See ya!